What if I told you there's a manifestation method backed by actual neuroscience that a guy figured out in 1937 that has never once trended on TikTok, never been on a Spotify playlist, and never been turned into a 19 pounds 99 pence course? And it works while you're literally unconscious? Stick around. Because in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, why it works, and most importantly, how to actually do it tonight. Okay, real talk. Have you ever done a vision board? Like, really committed to it? Cut out pictures of your dream house, your dream body, your dream life, stuck it on a wall with sticky tack at 11 p.m. on a Sunday, felt absolutely incredible, and then 3 weeks later walked past it and felt vaguely embarrassed? Yeah, same. Here's the thing. It's not that vision boards are stupid, it's that they're working on the wrong operating system. Here's what I mean. Your conscious mind, the part you're using right now to watch this video, is basically the intern of your brain. Enthusiastic, full of idea, absolutely no real power. The part that actually runs the show, your subconscious, and science is pretty clear on this. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between something that actually happened and something you vividly imagined. That single fact is the entire foundation of what we're talking about today. And it's the reason this method is different from everything else you've tried. But before I tell you what the method is, I need to tell you about a man who discovered it by complete accident. Okay? Rapid history lesson, and I promise this is interesting. 1937. Barbados-born mystic named Neville Goddard starts giving talks in New York City. Now, Neville wasn't a scientist. He wasn't a therapist. He was more like, imagine if a philosopher and a preacher had a kid who was obsessed with the power of human imagination. That was Neville, and he spent decades teaching one specific technique, a technique he called the ladder experiment and later refined into something called ATS, the state akin to sleep. Here's the wild part. In the 1960s and 70s, sports psychologists started figuring out that elite athletes, Soviet Olympic teams specifically, were using mental rehearsal to improve performance. Studies showed that athletes who mentally rehearsed their sport without physically practicing improved nearly as much as athletes who physically trained. Neville had been teaching a version of that for 30 years before science caught up. Now here's where it gets genuinely mental. And I need you to stay with me because this is the bit that actually explains why this works. So, your brain has a system called the reticular activating system, the RAS. Think of it as your brain's spam filter. Every single second, your senses are receiving about 11 million bits of information. You're consciously processing maybe 50. The RAS decides what makes it through. And here's the thing. It prioritizes whatever you've told it is important. That's why the moment you decide you want a specific car, a black Range Rover, say, suddenly you see black Range Rovers everywhere. They were always there. Your filter just wasn't looking. So when you use this technique, when you consistently program your subconscious with a specific outcome, especially in that drowsy state right before sleep, you're essentially reprogramming your spam filter. You start noticing opportunities, resources, and people relevant to what you want. Is that magic? Not really. Is it remarkable? Genuinely, yes. Quick side note, I know what some of you are thinking. Patty, this sounds like the stuff my auntie posts on Facebook at 7 a.m. next to a picture of a sunset. I hear you. And genuinely, a lot of manifestation content is unhinged. I'm not here to tell you to scream your goals into a mirror or charge your crystals under a full moon. Although, no judgment if that's your thing. What I am saying is that the specific technique we're about to go through has documented neurological underpinning. The placebo effect is real. The RAS is real. Mental rehearsal in elite sport is real. This isn't woo. This is just weirdly underused applied psychology. Right. Let's actually do this. The technique is called SATS, state akin to sleep, and it's embarrassingly simple, which is probably why nobody's monetized it properly. Here's how it works. Step 1. Every night as you're lying in bed, not before bed, not at your desk, in bed, you wait for that specific feeling when you're just starting to drift. You know that phase where you're not quite asleep, not quite awake, thoughts start getting a bit weird, maybe you get a little twitch? That's called the hypnagogic state, and it's neurologically special because your brain shifts from beta waves, alert, analytical, into alpha, and then theta waves. Theta is the same brainwave state that deep meditators spend years trying to access. You just stumble into it every single night for free. Step 2. In that state, you construct a single short scene, not a movie, a scene, maybe 30 seconds long, and it has to have these properties. It must be first person. You're not watching yourself achieve the goal, you're living it, seeing through your own eyes. It must imply the wish fulfilled. You're not wishing or hoping in the scene. You've already got it. You're having a conversation with a friend who's congratulating you. You're looking at your bank account. You're holding the keys to the new place. It must feel emotionally real. This is the part most people skip, and it's the whole game. Don't just visualize. Actually generate the feeling, the relief, the joy, the oh my god, this is actually happening feeling. And then you just fall asleep inside it. That's it. That's the whole technique. Now, I want to be completely honest with you about something, because I think this is where most people fall off. This technique doesn't work because the universe receives your vibrational signal and rearranges itself in your honor. I know, devastating. It works for two very practical reasons. One, consistent emotional rehearsal literally changes your neural pathways. The more vividly and repeatedly you imagine an outcome, the more your brain treats it as a reference point for normal. And humans are extraordinarily good at moving toward what feels normal to them. 2. The RAS thing we talked about. You start noticing and acting on things you previously filtered out. The overnight part isn't that you wake up and your dream is handed to you. It's that each night you're shifting your baseline, your sense of what's possible, what you deserve, what you expect. And those shifts compound. Slowly, then suddenly. Here's where I'll give you some actual examples because I know abstract concepts are annoying without them. Sports psychology. In a landmark 1994 study by Dr. Judd Biasiotto at the University of Chicago, 3 groups were tested on basketball free throws. One group physically practiced, one group visualized practicing vividly, daily, without touching a ball. One group did nothing. The visualization group improved by 23%. The physical practice group improved by 24%. The control group, nothing. The mental rehearsal group matched physical practice without moving a muscle. Jim Carrey, before he was famous, wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated it 3 years in the future, and kept it in his wallet. He didn't just look at it. He visualized the emotional reality of earning that. 3 years later, he was paid exactly $10 million for Dumb and Dumber. Now look, correlation isn't causation, but what it illustrates is the mindset shift that comes from consistently treating a goal as already inevitable. Right, here are the 3 mistakes I see people make that completely kill this. Mistake 1, making the scene too complicated. People try to visualize an entire movie, their wedding, their mansion, their acceptance speech. Your brain can't hold all of that in a drowsy state. One scene, one moment, maximum 30 seconds. Mistake 2, watching yourself, not being yourself. If you can see the back of your own head in the visualization, you're doing it wrong. It should feel like first-person gameplay, not a cutscene. Mistake 3, skipping the feeling. This is the big one. The image without the emotion is just daydreaming. It's the emotion that signals to your nervous system that this is important information. Generate the feeling first, then attach the image to it. Seriously, that third one is the whole difference between people who try this and think it's nonsense and people who try this and become very, very annoying at dinner parties because they won't stop talking about it. So here's what I want you to do. Tonight, not next Monday, not when things calm down. Tonight, as you're getting into bed, I want you to spend 2 minutes doing this properly. Pick one thing, one specific outcome. Build one tiny scene around it. You've already got the result. Someone's congratulating you. You're holding the thing. You're in the place. Make it short. Make it first person. Find the feeling first. Then hold the scene and drift into sleep inside it. Do that for 7 nights in a row. Not because 7 is a magic number, but because 7 days is enough time for you to notice a shift. Not in the world around you, but in how you think about and relate to the goal. And that internal shift is what actually precedes external results. Every time. The funny thing about this method is it costs nothing, takes 2 minutes, you're doing it in a state where you're literally supposed to be doing nothing anyway. And the worst case scenario is you fall asleep with nice thoughts, which honestly sounds like a win regardless. Look, I'm not telling you this is a guarantee. I'm telling you, it's a tool, a legitimate, neurologically grounded, completely free tool that most people have never heard of because it was buried in the writings of a mystical Barbadian philosopher from 1937 who didn't have a marketing team. Neville Goddard died in 1972. His books are in the public domain. His lectures are free on YouTube. If you want to go deeper on this, that's your rabbit hole. You're welcome. If you found this useful, genuinely useful, not just interesting, subscribe because I make these kinds of videos every week. Drop a comment and tell me what your one scene is going to be tonight. I read all of them. And honestly, it makes the videos worth making. See you in the next one.